a few years ago, it felt like the industry as a whole was saying, let's see if we can get close to what a human experience would be like using voice. Right now, the way our goal with every single client is to be faster, more accurate, more delightful than a human. So when we're achieving our goals with our clients, the experience is actually better. You're not dealing with somebody who is maybe unfamiliar with a menu. You're not dealing with somebody who's tired because they were out late the night before. You're going to get an exceptional experience every time, and that's, I think we're now able to deliver on the promise of what conversational AI is actually.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Brett Kinsella. I am the founder of VoiceBot.ai, and today we have another edition of 10 Minutes On, where we're going deep on one topic that's really important in this industry. And today we're going to talk about the evolution of voice assistants and their role in omni-channel marketing. And joining me today is Jeff McMahon. He's the CEO, co-founder of Voicify. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Brett. Great to be with you again.
Really great to have you back. Now, I think what we should talk about, and we should get right into it, is this evolution that's been going on. At one point, we thought about smart speakers as a channel, and a lot of the emphasis in the industry, particularly with brands and marketers, was about using voice assistants through smart speakers as a channel. But I think you like to talk about this now as a new layer of the customer experience. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. You're right. I think early on, early days with Alexa and Google, everyone was thinking of it or brands were thinking of voice in the context of a channel. But realistically, the way it's evolved, like most other digital technologies, it has to be part of your, a complete omni-channel strategy. So we really, from the beginning, have looked at it that way. And the way we've designed the Voicify platform is to accommodate using voice in every step or every conversational endpoint or every step of the customer journey. So that's how we've looked at it from the beginning. And we're starting to see that the leading brands that we're working with are executing strategies that support that. And it really has become kind of the connective tissue for multiple points in the omni-channel strategies to connect all of these experiences.
So it's no longer just an Alexa skill.
Right. And in many cases, brands have actually chosen to, move away from some of those owned or leased channels, depending on how you think about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about this graphic that you use to talk about omnichannel. If people aren't familiar with omnichannel marketing, it's all the different touch points that you might have with customers, prospective customers, for example. And how is this changing? We see Alexa there over in the lower right, but now we're seeing voice hit a lot of these other channels.
Yeah. And so if you're looking at this from clockwise, the starting at the top, the green section really is those are the conversational endpoints that we believe most brands should be out in the market with now. And we can get into a few examples of our existing clients and where they are in their sort of maturity curve. And then as you work your way around clockwise, you see gaming and AR, which may seem far off to some, but there's a lot of interesting things going on in that space. And the ability to extend your existing conversational AI or voice strategy into those endpoints is really important. There's massive number of folks who are using gaming metaverse. It's only going to grow, and our platform supports those endpoints as well. And so we have several big global brands that are actually deploying their experiences not only to the ones in the green area, but also to gaming and AR. And what it does is it just creates a consistent experience across all of your devices. That's the great thing about voice, is that it isn't specific to a certain device. And so if you want to have the ultimate goal of an omnichannel strategy is to have a consistent conversation with a consumer, meet them wherever they are in a consistent way. And voice does that. So that's where we're seeing the leading companies and sort of with the more progressive strategies are really deploying omni-channel, not just a single point solution.
Okay, so this makes sense. The idea of a central hub for all of your voice conversational interactions with your customers so you can have that consistency across channels. So you have several different companies that you've been working on with this. And I think one of the ones that we were talking about with was Audacy, which a lot of people may have known as Entercom Media in the past, big radio, but they've moved beyond that. Tell me a little bit about how they're tackling this space.
Sure. And as you mentioned, the former Entercom recently rebranded as Audacy. Definitely a very cutting edge company that in the radio space, they own hundreds of radio stations. They have, I believe, currently over 160 million monthly active listeners on their various channels and platforms. So massive company looking to continue to move towards digital and streaming. We've deployed, they're now using our platform to deploy an assistant on their mobile app and website to do things like player controls, play, stop, rewind, add to favorites, things like that. They're also going to be expanding into delivering interactive ads through our platform. And so they have a big investment already with Alexa. And, so we're supporting their new conversational AI as part of this assistant that just got released on mobile, web, and Alexa. They have lots of big plans for deploying it elsewhere. It's really a unique way to compete against other folks in the space if they can be in gaming, metaverse, and even on devices. These are some of the conversations that we're having with the senior executives over there.
Well, what's happened is it's turned out that media and voice have been like this perfect marriage, and that media has these simple controls that sometimes are hard to get to. They're inconvenient. Voices makes that easier. But it's also this idea of search and media and being able to find just the right thing that you want without having to go through some convoluted menu structure or some sort of type to search type of thing.
Yeah, I agreed. We actually have several clients in the sort of retail space. I think you're sort of touching on faceted search. So if you have a catalog of tens of thousands of songs, it's easier to just say the song or artist that you want. Similarly, we have retail clients who are using voice to search for products. In many cases, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of products, and to be able to quickly find them and then actually go one step further and actually execute through voice commerce is definitely an area where we're helping some brands as well.
Yeah. So I know you want to talk about Smoothie King because they have a really interesting journey here. I think they started out with an Alexa skill and then they're using that as a springboard for more activity.
Yes. Yeah. This is a great example kind of in the QSR space where you have Smoothie King, which has, I believe, over 2,000 locations, very cutting edge company in terms of how they think about using technology to improve the customer service experience. And we worked with one of our partners, Rain, on this and great collaborative effort. And essentially, as you were saying before, it's all about quickly finding the right product and then making that purchase. So in the case of Smoothie King, there's you're able to access the menu through your voice, and there's also reorder capability. So, when you were saying before about retail, the other nice thing is that if you can retain some knowledge around customers' preferences, you can actually deliver a better experience by saying, would you like to reorder? So if you're on the road commuting into work and you want to pick up your smoothie from Smoothie King, you can use your voice and actually reorder your last order. The whole thing can happen, within 30 seconds or less. You've never taken your hands, off the wheel. I think a couple of years ago, we talked about, what was the promise of voice. And now we're actually, as an industry, starting to be able to deliver that.
Yeah, I think that's really important is that people are familiar with the Gartner hype cycle. And all of a sudden you go from peak of inflated expectations to the trough of disillusionment where people are disappointed or they don't know what to do next. And then they have this concept of the slope of enlightenment. And the slope of enlightenment is really just what you're talking about. People have now figured out what the technology is for, how it can be deployed effectively in their operations, and they're using it to get very tangible benefit.
Absolutely. And, I would say a few years ago, it felt like the industry as a whole was saying, let's see if we can get close to what a human experience would be like using voice. Right now, the way our goal with every single client is to be faster, more accurate, more delightful than a human. So when we're achieving our goals with our clients, the experience is actually better. You're not dealing with somebody who is maybe unfamiliar with a menu. You're not dealing with somebody who's tired because they were out late the night before. You're going to get an exceptional experience every time, and that's, I think we're now able to deliver on the promise of what conversational AI is actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and another place that has been really interesting is automotive. They were an early adopter of voice technology in the car. And you worked with Volkswagen to do a non-traditional implementation of voice because they took it outside of the car into a mobile app. Maybe you talk about that for just a moment.
Sure. Yeah. Volkswagen's been an incredible partner. We've been working with them for over a year now, and they are taking a very broad strategy, omni-channel strategy regarding voice, and thinking about where to put it in the car. And they chose to start in the mobile, as you mentioned. I think you had our one of our clients from Volkswagen on the show a little while ago, and they're really thinking about this more broadly. So again, to create a consistent experience, you really have to be in all these conversational endpoints. They're now going to be extending what they have in the mobile app and on the web into their telephony system. So within the next few months, you'll have that same exact consistent experience. And some of the things that they're doing are extremely valuable, features for a consumer, where things like finding the closest charging station, owner's manuals these days, can be hundreds of pages. The ability to access those with frequently asked questions, and get warranty information. They may seem boring, but they're extremely useful, and they add a lot of value. The other thing that's nice about adding voice, within the automotive space is, I think there's been a pretty big transition over the last several years from companies really focusing on the features of a new car, as opposed to now it's really connecting with the brand and having the brand with you all the time. You see that with things like being able to check on the status of your car from your mobile phone, see how much fuel is left, or how many, how much further you can go on your, with your EV, even controlling the car remotely with, preconditioning the car, or unlocking the doors, etc. So I think the maturity curve, as you said, certain industries kind of lend themselves well towards conversational AI. Automotive is certainly one of them, and you can see we've been doing a lot of great work with Volkswagen.
Yeah. So the other thing that we've been talking about here, obviously beyond omnichannel, is we're talking about solutions at different stages of the customer life cycle. So we have, VW you're just talking about. That's like part of the product use experience. And then, if you look at Smoothie King, it's about the ordering experience. How should people be thinking about this today?
Yeah, good question. I think it is an extension of omni-channel, really, because in the sort of customer life cycle, you start with just really creating awareness of the brand and moving towards doing more product research, and ultimately buying a product, purchasing a product, but then supporting that customer with the product, and making sure that they remain loyal to the brand. And so we just talked about three different specific case studies, but if you look at stream media, automotive, quick serve restaurants, we currently have customers. If you see these green X's, we have customers who are have features and functions with voice in every stage of the customer lifecycle. And I think it's just, again, goes back to, this is not a single channel or a single point solution. Brands should be considering voice as something that's critical to their omnichannel strategy in terms of the devices that they are on, but also at the stages that they want to talk to a consumer. If the whole point of a customer lifecycle is to have a conversation with your customer or prospect consistently, you can't just meet them at the purchase stage or at the loyalty stage. You have to be there consistently throughout to really get the full value of that strategy.
Absolutely. This has been great. I hope people really take this to heart and really understand that voice is a capability, not just a channel, that it can be used throughout all the other channels in the marketing mix, and really is a core part of the customer journey that every company has. How can the viewers today learn more about what's going on at Voicify?
Yeah, the best way to learn more is to go to voicify.com. We have a lot of information on the website, white papers, blog posts, etc., and also the ability to schedule a demo. So if folks think that there's an opportunity to partner, or think that our platform might be a right fit for a brand, we'd love to hear from you.
All right, that's great. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brett.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to help us with YouTube's famed algorithm. And it'll be good for you too, because you'll be notified when the next 10 minutes on video drops, and you'll have that information before everyone else. So please like, subscribe, and may the voice bots be with you.